Well, that was very startling. My screen recording software decided to turn off in the middle of step 11. Excuse me, of step 9. So in step 9, you should have this table in the reclassify tool where value is set to 1 and new to 1, and this no data in the background is set to 0. We're going to go ahead and change our output raster to limestone boo. To show that our old single part limestone raster is now a Boolean raster, we're going to go ahead and run the tool. All right, that looks good. I'm going to change our undesired areas to that gray, and I'm going to compare this against the picture in figure 11.22, panel C. It looks great. The color doesn't really matter, only the content. If you want, you can set the color to, what is that, brown? But it really doesn't matter. Only the content matters. Back to step 11. This is where the magic comes to play. So at this point, we should have this limestone Boolean. We should have the dense trees Boolean. And we should have the elevation Boolean. And they should all be these rectangles. I'm going to go ahead and zoom to layer so that looks better. Now I'm going to go and open up the raster calculator tool. What we're going to do is, I'm going to use the spatial analyst version of raster calculator. We're going to create a new raster that shows where 3 conditions are true. We have all the right elevation, we have all the right trees, and we have the right rock. And if any of those are not true, it's going to show up as not a good habitat area. So we're going to do elevation range times limestone boo times dense trees. Where did that go? And what are we going to call this? We're going to call it snail hab. And so what we're doing here, remember how we had 1 in each of these rasters for where there was an area of interest, and we had 0 for where it wasn't? Anytime we have a 0 times 1, we get 0. We only have 1 when it's 1 times 1 times 1. So this is our final result, and I'm going to go ahead and compare it against figure 11.22, panel D. And that looks correct. That means that we did all of our rasters correctly. If you have a jaggedy top to this, then it means that somewhere along the lines, one of your rasters had a no data setting that was not reclassified to 0. And to fix it, you can just run the reclassify tool on that raster and set no data to 0 with your area of interest still set to 1. When you run the reclassify tool a second time, definitely double check the settings to make sure they're right. And then once you've got that raster classified appropriately, you can run raster calculator again, and it should work correctly. If you want to know in step 13 more of a gradient of habitat, we can do that as well with these tools. So I'm going to go ahead for that. I'm going to change these multiplication operators to addition. And so I'm going to name this SnailHab rank. And run this tool for step 13. I'm going to pull off that. And we have definitely different colors here, but this is hard for me to understand. This is a lot. I'm going to go into symbology, and instead of this wild color scheme, I'm going to give it some kind of color ramp, a light to dark green according to the textbook. Boy, colors sure are hard, huh? That looks like light to dark green. That's actually not that visible. I bet we can do better than that. Also not very visible. Boy, I'm striking out on colors today. Oh, that's a lot better. Whew, I can see that. So, where it's dark, we have the best possible snail habitat. Where it's light, the snail habitat isn't that great. And sometimes we have to make those hard decisions. And we have to just save the best snail habitat possible. So this is your screenshot after step 13. And remember that this is your screenshot after step 12. All right, have fun with that, folks. Good luck.